Padres lose a series in Cincinnati. Wasted opportunity on Sunday. Led late, could not hold the lead. Robert Suarez, the blown save. Padres defensively weren't good there in the ninth inning with Tyler Wade, the misplay, and then Suarez wasn't good either in the inning again. And the Padres are 0 for 13 with runners in scoring position. Just completely inexcusable. Really didn't deserve to win the series and don't win the series. Now they go to Philadelphia, and that 2-series win streak snapped in Cincy. So we'll react as we're within about a month right now of the trade deadline. Calendar is going to flip to July here during this upcoming series. So make your way in and subscribe here on Content As You Know for Padres fans. Smash that like button. Follow us on X at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. If you want to support the channel, just click the $ below the chat box. We appreciate your support of the channel. If you want to see your comment on screen, click that $ below the chat box. If you want to control the direction of the conversation, we appreciate the super chats. Just click that $ below the chat box. If you want to become a member, you can click join down below. Padres led this game 1-0. They led this game 2-1. And they certainly had opportunities. I mean, 0 for 13 with runners in scoring position, had chances to add on and didn't. And the Reds are a good team, and they made the Padres pay. I mean, that's what you should expect in a situation like that. Reds scored 2 in the ninth off Suarez. That's a conversation we'll have here tonight. Stephen Kolek was outstanding in this game. He didn't throw a ton of pitches. They went to the bullpen on a hot day. Bullpen was good until Suarez wasn't. And the Padres, Jim, lose a series. That whole 7-series win streak idea for Mike Schilt ends at 2 series in a row as they go to Philadelphia.
Yeah, this is not on the bullpen today. Like, no, you can't put this thing on the bullpen. I mean, Robert Suarez, he's been good this year. I wouldn't classify him as being like this dominant closer, would you?
No, not recently. I looked up his numbers. His last 7 or 8 times out, he's been blah.
Right. So I wouldn't classify him as a dominant closer, but I know he gets credited with the loss and the blown save today, but you go 0 for 13 with runners in scoring position, you're asking for trouble. Mm-hmm. You're just asking for trouble unless you hit a bunch of home runs with the runners on first base.
Right.
You are asking for trouble as a team. And today you saw what happened. And yeah, I agree with you. They did not deserve to win this game. And it bit them in the ass, and they have no one to blame but themselves offensively for what happened today. And in the series too. I mean, yesterday was a really good game. Gavin Sheets, being the hero again, but you almost get no hit on Friday night. And today you go over 13 with runners in scoring position. I mean, in Cincinnati, 2 of the 3 games in Cincinnati, you fall flat on your face offensively.
Well said. I mean, completely flat offensively. And again, they had some opportunities. Obviously, you don't go for 13 with runners in scoring position if you don't have opportunities. But it's like, how many times have we said it just isn't clicking? And let's go back to yesterday. They're down 3-0. To their credit, they come back. Listen to this stat. I heard it on the radio today from Jesse. It's the first time this year they've scored all their runs on homers when scoring more than 2 runs. Like, what? They hadn't had one game this year that they won 4-3 and all 4 runs were on home runs, which, by the way, that's the problem with the Padres right now. You can't expect to stumble into rallies when you're top heavy. And if you don't have slug, you're asking for trouble. They don't have slug. Yeah, they hit some home runs in the series. Bogart's homer today. They hit 3 home runs yesterday. But the point is, you were into your 82nd game before you had a game where you scored all of your runs on home runs and scored more than 2 runs. They've just really lacked slug. They've lacked continuity. They can't piecemeal anything together. I mean, they just cannot piecemeal anything together. Gavin Sheets has been outstanding. Xander today was good. He left due to cramping. The Tatis conversation, is one that we can continue to have. Machado today was 0 for 4. So I don't know what to say. I mean, how many times do we say going into the series, Jim, like, you're not going to win games in Cincinnati 3-2? Well, they didn't. They just lost a game 3-2 in Cincinnati. You're not going to win a game by scoring one run. Kevin said with us on Friday, they've got the best winning percentage in baseball when scoring 3 runs or less. And it's still bad because you can't score 3 runs or less and have a good winning percentage. They score 2 runs today, they lose. They score 1 run on Friday, they lose. You can't expect to win. I don't care who you're playing or where. You cannot expect to hold 1-run leads all season long. As good as they've been doing that, it's going to bite you. And it bit them again today.
You want to know what Tatis's OPS is since May 1st? Thanks to Ryan Payne on Twitter.
Yeah.
What?
Today?
Looks like including today, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
665.
Yeah, I mean, not good.
You know, I've been seeing a little bit of this on social media, and we've talked about what they need at the deadline. I don't think there's any big bat out there that they can go get that's going to magically change anything. I really don't. I don't even think there's any big bat on the market, truthfully. Like a Juan Soto type of bat. There is nothing like that on the market. So going out and getting like an upgrade at left field, whether, I'll just throw his name out there, Taylor Ward, right? Whatever, right? They get Taylor Ward. Do you really think just having an upgrade in left field or an upgrade right-handed bat, and I'm not talking like you go from Brandon Lockridge to Juan Soto. I mean, you go from like Brandon Lockridge to like average, like
Right.
you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
just like an average right fielder. You guys really think that's going to just magically change everything? You know what magically changes everything? If guys like Fernando Tatis Jr. and Jackson Merrill, if they produce, because you know where they're hitting in the lineup, right, John? They're hitting 3-4 in the lineup. When your 3-4 hitters don't have any power and your cleanup hitter has a 665 OPS since May 1st, go ahead and get an average right fielder. Not going to help you much.
The more we talk about this each and every day, and I'm glad you mentioned Tatis. I mean, the more we talk about this each and every day, the more I'm willing to serve criticism to Tatis. I mean, May 1st was 52 games ago, I believe.
How could you not? I mean, it's
50.
Yeah. How could you
Like
not?
52 games. Now, it's not solely him, but if we always are like heavy as the head that wears the crown with Machado when things aren't good, and Machado's never real. I mean, well, last year in the first half, he had a 52 game stretch like this that Tatis is dealing with right now. But like, does anyone believe that Tatis's second half is going to be Manny's 2024 second half? I don't. I don't see a 950 OPS coming from here on out. I hope I'm wrong. He's been 665 for 52 games. He's going to close the year 950. I don't know what's going on with Fernando Tatis Jr. I really don't. I mean, what has gone on with Fernando Tatis Jr.? And by the way, I'm not talking about his like physical skills. He's off. We said this 10 days ago. Nothing has changed my opinion. We said it 20 days ago. Nothing has changed my opinion. Now, he hit 2 3-run home runs. That is true. He hit 2 3-run home runs in there. We thought that would ignite him. This isn't solely Tatis. He still gets on base at a decent enough clip. But that OPS tells a story. I don't care what your on base is when we're adding on base and slugging, and it's still 665. So that's more of an indictment on his lack of power, that he actually is getting on base at a decent clip that we can all live with. But he's hitting for zero power by his standards. He's one of a series of issues that is wrong with this team right now. And I don't know if they can continue to do this and get away with it, so to speak. I mean, they have 79 games left in the year. They're 45-38. They did it all at 14-3. The whole season is predicated off 14-3. Are you really going to get away with that? You go 14-3, play average, and make the postseason? I don't see it. So they need to be turned around. There's plenty of time to do that. That's on Preller. That's on Schilt. That's on the players. And let's just hope that that happens once they get to Philadelphia, or if not in Philadelphia, some point soon with the 10-game homestand.
Yeah, Merrill's got 5 home runs on the season. He did miss time, but he's now played in, I think, 51 or 52 games this year. Right. Manny Machado in his last 15 games is hitting 183. We've just talked about Fernando Tatis Jr. Again, yes, the team's depth is a problem. Yes, they need an upgrade in left field. I think, if they had Sheets out there, I think he's played better of late, and Sheets has done like more than you could ever ask from him this season so far. So going to the next step there, they just need a right-handed bat. Like, yes, they need a right-handed bat somewhere in this lineup. Yes, the catching position is like just so awful. Yes, their bench has issues. And guys like Tyler Wade and Brandon Lockridge and Jose Iglesias, they're just not it. But just adding average players to fill those positions doesn't fix the problem of Fernando Tatis Jr. and Jackson Merrill. And, I know Xander Bogaerts had a good game today, but, Xander Bogaerts and, Manny Machado's hot and cold streaks, like the problems are still there from the top of your lineup. it all comes down to them. They had the same players at the beginning of the year, and guess what? Those 4 guys, the top lineup, were actually 3 of the 4 because the Rise started out really slow. But 3 of the 4 in the lineup were red hot to start the year. And guess what happened? With the same pieces as they have now, they went 14-3. They didn't have a catcher. They didn't have a left fielder. No one knew that Chiefs was going to be this player, even though I'm pretty sure he started out well,
He was
pretty
red
good
hot.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
You get my point. The guys in this lineup that are paid to produce need to produce. You can put all the average players you want in there. If the star players don't produce, you're not going to be carried by a bunch of average players that you pick up at the deadline and everything's magically saved. Like, that's not how this works. You need your stars to perform. Get all the average players you want. If Tatis is going to have a 660 OPS, if Jackson Merrill's not going to hit for any power, if Manny Machado is going to hit 183 over a 15-game stretch, if Luis Suarez, is going to be up and down and up and down, sorry. And if Xander Bogaerts, I know he had a really good game today. I'm just saying in general, right? If Xander Bogaerts is still going to have a 680 OPS for you, like, good freaking luck, man.
Yeah, he's actually, hopefully, a bright spot, because if we look at his numbers, if we looked at his numbers over his last 7 or 15 games, I think it would be encouraging in general, because his OPS was around 600. It's up to 689. We'll see if that continues or not. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like that's going to happen for the second half of the year. Right. And Sheets has been really good, but man, how do you go 0 for 13 with runners in scoring position in Cincinnati? And how do you lose a game that Stephen Kolek goes 5 2/3 innings and allows nothing, essentially? An inherited runner scores. You cannot lose when Stephen Kolek goes 5 2/3 innings and allows 1 run. He threw 70 pitches. He threw 7. And by the way, that I have no fault on Mike Schilt taking him out of the game. The bullpen was perfect until Suarez. He could have thrown 99 pitches. Suarez is going to appear in a game that's a 1-run game, and Suarez couldn't hold the lead, and there was an error behind him. There was a walk. There were hard hit balls, and we can talk about that as well. Vector, thank you for the first super of the night. Guys, if you're here, subscribe here on Content For You, and thank you for the super chats. Click the $sign below the chat box. We'll get to all of them here tonight. We appreciate it. He says, feels like if we reach 500, we might not recover. I would have no faith in the Padres if they are at 500 at some point in the future this year. Literally, I would have none. They cannot afford to fall back to 500. They're 7 games over 500, and look at how we're talking about them. So if they truly fell to 500, I know they were there last year, much later than this, at 50-50, but I would have no faith, because it's all about trajectory and trend, and they started 14-3. So they cannot afford to get back to 500. Hopefully they don't get close. They're 7 games over right now. It's not like 2 days from now they're going to be at 500, but they're 4 under since the 14-3 start. So I don't know what it's going to take to turn this team around, but if they get to 500, nobody's going to have any faith in this team.
I'll say this, regardless of how not regardless, because they could actually be awful, but if they get to the deadline, they'll make a move or 2. They'll be, they say, 7 games over 500, 7 or 8. Okay. Pretty decent. They're in the mix for sure. Mm-hmm. August is going to make or break their season. Like, no question in my mind. August is going to make or break their season. If they get to the deadline, how I just said they get to the deadline, 7, 8 games over, make a move or 2. August will determine their season. Now, they could play bad in August and they can make a lot of that up in September, but they would need to play with their hair on fire. Mm-hmm. And finally, September is the month that I've said, you get to September through August and you are right in it or in a good spot. Like, it's on a platter for you, on a silver platter for you in September. If you can navigate through August and you're in a playoff position by September 1st. But the thing is, you got to get there first, and there's still a lot of time before that. And hopefully they take care. They can lose 2 or 3 here in Philadelphia. Okay. Yep. That would be bad. But if they then went 7-3 at home, that's a great finish to your.
That'd be 10 over.
And they'd be 10 over 500 at the break. And that's what we've said, But I'm just saying, I'm just looking bigger picture here. Like, because everyone's like, oh, this team's mid. Yeah, they are mid and they're average. But at the same time, look at their August schedule. Okay. St. Louis, Arizona, San Francisco, the Dodgers twice. Sorry, San Francisco twice, the Dodgers twice, Seattle, Minnesota, Boston. That's not easy.
No, it's not. No, and by the way, I don't think 7-3 at home is overly easy heading into the day. Like if they go 2-4 in the strip, to your hypothetical, lose 2 out of 3 in Philadelphia, come home. I mean, you're playing the Phillies. You're playing a Diamondbacks team that struggled but is capable, 500 team. You're playing you're not playing complete, has been the worst teams in baseball, Colorado for example. You're playing good teams, including the Phillies in there. So I think 7-3 is just based on how this team has played. I think that's a little wishful potentially. The Sandwich, thank you, man, for the super chat. It says, desperate times call for desperate measures. It's to call in Freddie Galvis and Joey Lucchese. Yeah, no, it's not. But it's time to probably, if you're AJ Preller, consider making a move sooner rather than later. And I don't even know what that looks like or what we're even talking about. He's not going to make some huge swing anyway. But I don't know. They need something. They need some change. And I'm with you, Jim. I don't think some change changes everything, but they certainly could use a change. I don't know if you afford to keep going like this in July, like to the initial Super's point. I mean, let's say you get to the deadline and it doesn't play out the way we just theorized, and let's say they're 4 over 500, not 10. Let's say they're 6 over 500, not 10. I mean, have you put yourself in a position where it's going to take some really good baseball to get to the postseason, the final 50 games of the year?
Yeah. What was this? I think Kevin said if they continue to play baseball the way they've been playing since May 1st,
right,
they would be 500 by the break. Like the winning.
I think right now is probably extreme. They have 13 games left.
Okay. What are they?
So they would have to go 3-10 to be 3-10. They'd be 500.
Okay, you're right. That's extreme. But eventually, the point is, eventually it will catch up to them, and they will eventually be 500 sometime in July.
100%.
If they continue playing the way they've been playing since May 1st, which is not good. It's not good compared to how they started the season and how they
100%.
view themselves as a good baseball team. So yeah, you're right. They can't continue to play like this, because if they do, they will eventually be 500. And honestly, they'll probably be around 500 if they continue to play like this right around the deadline. So they have to figure out a way to, have a 7-3, in 10 game stretch. Have a week where you go, 5-2. Like, can you do that?
Yeah.
And it's a lot of it is dependent on the guys that I've talked about: Fernando Tatis Jr., Jackson Merrill, Manny Machado, Xander Bogaerts, Luis Suarez. Those are the guys that are here. If they were all performing right now and this team was like doing well, it's just go out and get an average bat. Go do it. I agree. They need an average bat. They need help with their bench. They need help with a right-handed bat. It's not going to change everything. It will change it will change things on the margins potentially, but it won't affect the team enough to be like, this team just got figured it out. No, unless Fernando Tatis Jr. hits, unless Jackson Merrill starts hitting for power, and Manny Machado and Luis Suarez and Xander Bogaerts, Jake Cronenworth. Sorry, it's not going to help that much.
Yeah, I was just doing a deeper dive on Tatis. We'll get to these supers, guys. If you're here, subscribe. 400 of you are here live right now. So if you're here live or on replay, please subscribe. Year-on content for you, and smash that like button for us. And thank you for the super chats or the super thanks if you're here on replay. We'll get to all of them, including Paul and JD's third coming up. So, Fernando Tatis, okay, we've been critical. He still hit 258 for the year with a 794 OPS. You look deeper in the numbers, and I thought this, and that's why I looked it up. I'm like, I feel like this guy has been completely MIA with runners in scoring position, and he has been.
Yes.
He's been worse than his season averages. He's hit
222?
222.
Yeah.
He's hit 222 with runners in scoring position. I'm trying to see what he's done with men on base this year. But it proves the point. I mean, we're just asking for more in so many different ways out of Tatis. It's just been down across the board. There's been sometimes you see a guy like, oh, he's hitting 258, but he's hitting 360 with men in scoring position. He's come through in the clutch. He doesn't hit when he doesn't need to hit, but then in those big spots, he comes through in the clutch. And it's not to single him out because we went through the numbers. You're right. Machado's last week and a half hasn't been as good. Merrill hasn't had near the season he had last year. I think that's fair to say. His numbers are still solid. They're just not what they were a year ago. Arise hasn't been the exact same player he was a year ago. But I mean, it all comes back. A lot of this comes back to Tatis for me. I mean, I hate to do that, but I think it's fair. I wouldn't do it if I didn't think it was fair. I think it's completely fair. I'm putting it on him. He's got to really play well. We need to see it. I know he's capable of doing it. I'm not saying it because I don't think he can do it, but I need to see it. Like the calendar's flipping to July. Where have you been, man? We haven't seen you since April. Where are you? Show up.
Yeah, Arise Singles, said in the chat, you can't classify this as he's just going through a slump. This is 2 months, dude. 2 months of this.
This is Machado last year in the first half.
Here's the thing. Machado, while we got on him last year,
was hurt.
Yeah, maybe Tatis is, and we don't know it, which would be so Padres and so Tatis.
Yeah.
Manny has a track record. Tatis's track record of getting out of slumps like this, I can't remember.
Right.
And even with Machado last year, like, okay, time to go, right?
Yep. Oh, yeah.
You're saying the same thing about Tatis. Like, time to go. I'm just worried that he's not going to be the same. He's not going to go. He's just he'll have moments. I don't know if he's going to have that month stretch again, like he did to start the season. Is he fatigued? Is he tired? Is he hurt? He's not telling anybody, or they do know he's hurt and he's playing through it. Is he just like in his head? Is there something going on behind the scenes that we don't know about? Like, what is it right now that has made Fernando Tatis Jr. into a below average player at the plate? What is it?
I have no idea. And it's a whole another conversation if he ends up with the All-Star team or not, but he's certainly not deserving of it. I'm sorry. And he would tell you the same thing. I mean, you don't make an All-Star team based on a month.
Yeah.
And I'd rather him get right over those 3 or 4 days than deal with that song and dance. Like, go get right. Go talk to someone that's going to get you right. Because honestly, Jim, in watching him and playing every day, I do not think it's physical. I don't. I do not think he's dealing with some significant injury that is holding him back. If he's dealing with an injury, so is Manny Machado. He fouls pitches off his feet every second. He deals with something the entirety of his career, and he posts and produces when posting historically. Tatis might be dealing with bumps and bruises like most of these guys are, but for him to be dealing with something that is undisclosed, like what happened last year with the leg fracture, I mean, if that is the case, then you have no faith in this player long term at all. If he's dealing with a significant injury. And secondly, if it's not a significant injury, go get out of your head, dude, because physically you have the skills to do this. And for whatever reason, you're just not doing it. Paul, thank you. He says, is this just the last couple of years of cost cutting coming home to roost? I mean, their depth is gone, or gonzo. I mean, how much of what we're seeing in real time here since the start is based on depth? I mean, these pitchers have been good, Jim. Stephen Kolek's good. Randy Vasquez has put together a nice year. Ryan Berger's pitched well. So I would agree if the replacements for Darvish and King were just awful, but they haven't been. And then I would agree if it was like Merrill and Machado and Tatis and Arraez were out all year, but they haven't been out all year. Yes, Merrill missed time. True. But I don't know how much of this is depth based on just poor play.
If people are sitting here being like, man, if this team didn't have Martin Maldonado and Tyler Wade, and
right.
You're blaming and you're looking at guys that you shouldn't be looking at. Yeah, it's frustrating to watch those players, but if this team's losing games and your first thought is you're getting so frustrated and mad with Martin Maldonado, and you're watching these games, like there's things that are happening in the game, right? Like, man, I don't know what to tell you, because those aren't the guys that are paid big bucks to produce, right? They're not the guys that should be looked at every game. Tyler Wade today, perfect example. He had an error, a really bad one, right? Martin Maldonado, he can't catch a baseball like thrown to him, like if his life depended on it at times. He's not even close to major league caliber yet. Mike Schultz loves to play him. Actually, I will say he's really good against lefties this year for some reason, but they continue to play against him against righties. That's beside the point. Getting mad at Tyler Wade and Martin Maldonado, that's the easy thing to do. The thing that people should be doing is what we're trying to tell you is if the star players don't produce, it won't matter. Like, end of discussion. Go pick up an average bat. Might help you a little bit for sure. It'll help you extend innings, maybe. But guess what it will extend innings to? Guys that are expected to produce, and if they don't produce and they continue to play the way they're playing, those other average bats aren't going to do shit for the overall team and what they're trying to do, where they're trying to go.
Well said. Yeah, I mean, you're right. I don't care if Diaz has a hot month or if Iglesias has a hot month. They shouldn't be carrying your team. That's not the expectation. If they have a hot month, it's gravy. We saw that with Kyle Higashioka last year. We saw it for months on end with Jerks and Profar, but that was never the expectation going into the year that Kyle Higashioka was going to get you to 93 wins. You're right. I mean, I want to say, hey, Jose Iglesias, where are you? But it's not fair. I mean, they signed him in the middle of March.
Like, listen to yourself.
Yeah, it's ridiculous to say. Like, why am I talking about Jose Iglesias when Fernando Tatis Jr. makes $400 million? I mean, it's just ridiculous. JD's third, thank you, man. He says 0 for 13 RISP. This is what the offense is. I don't know what the numbers are for the year. I know they're bad. That's almost like hard to do, Jim, if you tried. It's hard to go 0 for 13 over any. Like, take any stat and try doing it. It's hard to go 13 consecutive plate appearances without a hit. It's hard to go 0 for 13 with runners in scoring position. It's just hard to do that. And they didn't face elite pitching today. They faced fine pitching. Lodolo, by the way, had the third highest ERA at home of anyone in baseball this year. And he goes 5 1/3 innings, allows 1 run because they couldn't punch across runs in this game. I think their 18 bullpen is fine. It's not bad. It's not great. And they didn't do enough, obviously, against that 18 bullpen of the Cincinnati Reds. So it adds up to, you're right. I mean, what you said initially is right. It's not on Suarez, even though in the moment you need to hold a 2-1 lead. It's on the offense for putting Suarez and the bullpen in a spot where every night they appear, it's a 1-run game. Freaking Jason Adam leads baseball in appearances. You don't want to say that about one of your high leverage relievers. I'm sorry. The Padres don't. They're top usage last year was 65 games. And you got Jason Adam appearing in his 42nd game today. He's on pace to appear in 82 or more games, which, again, you wonder why he hasn't been the same pitcher he was earlier because he's being overused. So I think they need to add probably relief help as well, truthfully, the way they've used this bullpen. You use all your A team and you lose. Yeah. What does that say about tomorrow? It doesn't say anything good about tomorrow.
No. And, I mean, it's going to be tough in Philadelphia.
They face Zach Wheeler tomorrow?
I think so. Yeah. Johnny says, no, it is Maldonado. He kills so many rallies. All right. I'm going to go through the rallies tonight or this afternoon and just listen to how the rallies died today and then tell me if it's Maldonado, like all Maldonado. All right. Second inning, Xander doubles to lead off the inning. Sheets, Iglesias, Cronenworth don't get the job done. All right. Top of the third, Arise. He hits a double. Manny walks. Merrill strikes out. Tatis strikes out. All right. Top of the fourth. Now Xander Bogaerts hits the home run. That's great. And then, hold on. And then you have Gavin Sheets singles on a ground ball to right. And then he advances to second base. All right. Jose Iglesias, fielder's choice out. Jake Cronenworth, strikeout. Now there's 2 outs in the inning. You're really expecting Elias Diaz or Martin Maldonado to come through there? Strikes out swing.
No, hold on, actually. Because that's when Sheets they bunted him over and couldn't get the job done. It was thrown out at third, which was a massive play in the game.
That's right.
Yeah. So Iglesias bunted and Sheets was out at third. And that was a huge rally killer for them in the inning. But continue on.
Then the fifth, all right, Arise walks, Manny flies out, Jackson Merrill force out, Luis Arise is out at second, Manny's at first, Tatis singles, Jackson goes to third, So it's first and third, 2 outs. Xander Bogaerts, he grounds out. Right.
Yeah.
So the pattern today and a lot of days is that the big boys are coming up with opportunities and they've not come through. Like for a good part. Wait, is my internet down?
I can hear you. I see you.
Because I see you're like very fuzzy.
It might be mine.
Can you see us clearly, chat? Yeah, John's internet's dying.
Oh. Well,
okay. Anyway, I mean, I can go through the rest here, but I'm looking at a lot of situations with like the middle of their lineup coming up today with an opportunity to do damage. And guess what? They're not doing damage. You know?
I think I'm back. Maybe. Blame Spectrum.
Did you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly. Yeah, I mean, obviously we're putting more blame on the top of the lineup than we are Bryce Johnson.
And Martin Maldonado and Elias Diaz. Like,
yeah.
Like, okay.
No question.
Like, cool. I get it. An upgraded catcher is needed. I'm not saying it's not. But what I'm saying is if you go get an upgraded catcher, that's great. It doesn't fix all your problems. If you get an upgraded catcher and your top 4 in the lineup, like start producing, then you can just be like, all right, now we're cooking here. But if you get an upgraded catcher and your top 4 are continuing to do what they've been doing this year, how much is that really going to help you? Like, is that going to make you a 95-win team all of a sudden? Like, no, it's not. By getting some upgraded catcher from below league average to maybe league average. You know what I mean?
Right. No, I 100% know what you mean, and I agree with it. JD's third wants to know how many games do we need to win for the last wild card spot. Let's just say 90 games is the threshold. I think it's fair. The National League's good. I know San Francisco's fallen off. I don't know how much of a threat Atlanta is at this point. 7 games under 500. I've worried about them, but should we? But Milwaukee and St. Louis have been excellent, and Cincinnati's right there. So let's just say 90. Let's just say it for fun. So to get to 90 wins, they would need 45 more, and they would have to do it in now 79 games. I think I have that right. So they got to close. Do I have this right?
You're the math guy.
I know. Do they have to close 45? No, that's not right.
Well, they're 45 and
30. So they have to close 45 and 34 to get to 90 wins.
Yeah.
They got to go 45 and 34. I don't have a lot of faith in that. Doesn't mean it can't happen. It absolutely could happen. But that's better than they played to this point.
Hey, maybe, and if this happens tomorrow, clip it and we'll use it forever. Maybe all they need is a Matt Waldron start in Philadelphia to just turn everything around
like last year
and shoot off like a rocket ship, because that's exactly what happened last year.
And it's a similar start where you're going to be heavy dogs. That was Ranger Suarez, who had like a 1, and this is Zach Wheeler, who's got a 2 ERA. So you're going to be plus 200 tomorrow. Like, what? Like, you're losing this game. It's an inevitability. That's what Vegas would tell you. Maybe they get up off the mat tomorrow and look more than a shell of themselves. Tomorrow, I mean, it was encouraging yesterday to come back from 3-0 down. They showed some heart. They gave up another run. Gavin Sheets laid out and made that catch to keep it, I think, trailing 4-1, and then they rallied to win that game. And then Sheets had that massive 3-run home run, and Suarez worked in and out of trouble yesterday. It was 2 on. The winning run was at the plate yesterday in the 9th inning. It looked like they got off the mat yesterday, and then this happens. So maybe they'll get back off the mat tomorrow in Philadelphia. It's impossible to predict with this team. How many times have we said it, Jim? It's like, who is this team? Mm-hmm. Who is this team? Will the real San Diego Padres please stand up? Hopefully it'll happen at some point before the season's over.
Well, their star players perform like star players.
Right. I mean, who's a true all-star on this team? Who's a true all-star? Manny.
That's,
Gavin's had a great year, let's be honest. But I mean, in terms of an all-star productivity year from an everyday guy that's been there from day one, you got Manny Machado.
Yeah, Manny Machado for like position players, not
pitchers. Yeah. I mean, who's your? I mean, listen, Adrian Morejon's been absolutely sensational. He could be on the All-Star team. Robert Suarez is not an All-Star. based on the way he's pitched this year.
No.
I mean, he's got a lot of saves, but give
Nick
me a break.
Pivetta,
I mean,
it's been really
Pivetta
good.
could be. You're right. Pivetta's had a very good year.
Like think about that. If I told you the All-Star break this year, that the guys that have performed like All-Stars this year were, I mean, Manny, that's like great. Yeah, perfect. That's exactly what he should be doing. But if I told you the other guys that were performing, the only other guys on this team that are performing like All-Stars were Adrian Morejon, Nick Pivetta, and Gavin Sheets, I'd be like, something might be wrong.
Yeah, 100%. Exactly. Like Where You At Production just said, their identity is bipolar. Let's thank our title sponsor here on the wrap-up show, Mark Nimitz, who's been with us since day one. If you've got an insurance need, let Mark take care of you, whether it's auto or home or renters or life. I have 3 insurance policies through Mark, earthquake and homeowners and life, and you can as well. He'll do auto as well for you, and he's going to save you money. And if you ever need him, he's going to save you time and money. Trust me, because I've needed him before, and he's always going to be there for you, and that's what separates him. He's got great service and communication. You can trust us on that. We've done business with Mark for forever. A lot of our viewers have done business with Mark for the last 4 or 5 years as well. So if you support this channel, click the link in the description down below. Get free quotes online. Call Mark. He'll talk to you about the Padres. He'll talk to you about saving money on your insurance as well. But if you support the channel, please support our title sponsor, Mark Nimitz at Farmers.
Yeah, all his information is on that ticker below, mnimitz at farmersagent.com. When you reach out to Mark, let him know that John and Jim from the wrap-up show sent you.
No, I think there's a lot of like the takes about, and I see it on social media because I'm tagged in it, or I see it in the wrap-up show or on John.
A lot of tagging stuff of us.
There's a lot of tagging going on. The idea that like, oh, so trade Suarez, so do this with Todd. No. You know what you need to do between now and July 30th before anything gets figured out with your go play to your capability. Like,
play better.
No, it's not trade Tatis. He's not going anywhere. It's stupid. It's not trade Suarez. He's their closer. He's not going anywhere in June. You got to put yourself in the position, like Jim said earlier. Go get 10 over and let's have the conversation. Because if they're only 2 over, there's going to be some harder conversations like, is there a piece that sold off? Are you actually buying at a decent clip? But go get 10 over. Make an easy decision for your general manager to go add to this team. But you've said it before. AJ Preller's essentially said it before. It's on the team. If the team's playing well, they'll go further in. If the team's not playing well, I'd be surprised if they went further in.
Let me actually look up this quote from him from a couple days ago, because he said that pretty much basically verbatim.
Yeah.
A lot of James Wood, blah blah blah. Where is this?
Better be the quote of the century.
Here we go. I found it. He said, we've had years where we've been aggressive. We've had years where we stood pat. We've had years where we've pivoted and dealt for prospects and minor league players. I think your team kind of tells you where you're at. I think we're always open-minded. And I think for right now, it's looking like we're hoping to add to the club we have, but we're always going to be open to what direction we need to go. And that makes the most sense for the team for now and the future. The key thing in there is your team tells you where you're at and what direction to go.
Mm-hmm.
Now, does AJ Preller always follow those guidelines? Maybe not, but
right.
The years that he has been uber aggressive, 2022 and 2024, the team at the trade deadline, they were playing a style of baseball that, and they're playing a way that told AJ Preller, like, go get us help. They went red hot nuclear out of the All-Star break last year. 2022, they were 12 something games over 500 or something, and
yeah, it's over 13 when they traded for Soto.
And the prospects of Fernando Tatis Jr. was in sight until he got popped for PEDs. So and then look what happened in 2023. The team was mid as hell. He decided to head. He did not want to commit. He did not want to trade away Snell and Hader. So he made a couple bland moves to fake go for it and hope that his star players would just perform. And they never did.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So, like, yeah, the deadline will tell you how AJ Preller feels about this team. The deadline, what he does, whatever he does, whenever he does it, that will tell you without telling you how AJ Preller feels about his 2025 San Diego Padres.
I mean, you have to look at it through the prism of, if I'm going to make a postseason run, I need to do it through a wild card series. Now, they've been amazing in wild card series. Like, you're 3-0, 20, 22, 24. Okay, that's hard. Okay, that's really hard. So you're looking through the prism of, you're not winning the division. How far all in would you go for a best of 3 series? Like, chat, Padres fans, Padres Nation, John and Jim, anyone, like, how far all in would you go for a 3-game series to continue to play on? I mean, that's a fair, like, what are you really parting ways with to assure yourself that you're guaranteed a 3-game series in the wild card round? I mean,
Well,
I'd be very cautious if my team was playing average baseball and I'm playing solely for that. That's my only path. Now, that's been their only path a lot. It's not like they've been winning divisions left and right. Maybe they've been in the conversation. I think last year they were in the conversation for the division late. But I think I could say it right now. It's very unlikely this team is in the conversation for anything other than a wild card. Plus, right now, they might be trending to be the 2nd or 3rd wild card, Jim, which means you're playing a road playoff series. So, like, how much are you willing to move to play for a wild card series?
Well, I agree on that. But if they didn't try their hardest just to get to that wild card series, we'd also rip them too. Because that's the whole point, is we've been talking about that, like, getting there and seeing what your chances are and go from there. But I do agree from the sense of,
I feel like they'll get there if the theory is, are you going to add if you don't think you're going to? Like, I think they're going to think they can get there. It's like, once you're there, you're playing for a 3-game series.
Right. I think they're going to get there. It's about the style of his aggressive, like, how aggressive is he going to be? If the team is blah still at the deadline, he's probably not as aggressive as he would be if the team ripped off 10 of 12 before the deadline.
I agree.
And so those are two different things. And if the team was still blah at the deadline, the message would be, we need our stars to produce. And if they don't produce and if they don't perform, no move would have mattered. The same thing that AJ Preller said in 2023 and 2021. Well, what was it? No, 2020, both years, pretty much.
It was 2021. Yeah, I said 2021.
2021, my bad. But then the same thing still applied in 2023. So the same thing will apply in 2025. If the team is mid at the deadline, then the message from the organization will be, it won't matter what move we make, because if the guys that we have here aren't producing, it's not going to work out.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. It's double-edged. I agree with the point you're making completely. If you're playing well, you want to do more. If you're not playing well, you want to do less. I mean, that makes sense to me too. JD's third, thank you, man, for the super. Says, why do we pay players early? Jake, Jackson, Tatis. Well, first of all, you can't put all these players in the same category. They're all different, and we can get into that. It's great to lock up talent early. However, it comes with risk. Should we learn and wait longer? I mean, Jake is a different deal than Jackson, and Jackson's a way different deal than Tatis. So they all have their pros and cons, or risks and rewards. I typically don't mind that strategy when you're dealing with some type of budget. But I mean, yeah, there's risk everywhere, right? I mean, there's risks in free agency. There's risk in signing players long-term. I mean, yeah, the jury's out on all these things. The jury's out on everything. Tatis, Jackson's a young player. We have no clue how this plays out. Jake's in the middle of this deal. It hasn't gone perfectly, that's for sure.
I actually think, for the money that Jake's being paid and his production, it's kind of exactly where he should be, as far as, like, money goes and production goes. Like, that's kind of what he's worth, what the Padres are paying him. He's having a fine, okay year, 238, whatever, but he's got a 762 OPS. Last year he had a 714 OPS, but he did drive in 83 runs and hit 17 home runs for you with 29 doubles. So, like, I know we talk about Jake's contract, but I think we should stop talking about Jake's contract, because it's not like this crazy like
Yeah.
anchor Wayne deal like Xander's is.
Yeah, he's had a fine year. I mean, in terms of OPS, he's had a fine year. Yeah, he's fine. He's a piece of a puzzle. He's not the piece of any puzzle, but he's a piece of a puzzle.
Is this wait?
No.
No, that's Blake. Is that Blake? Who's that loser? Like, hold on. Yeah, it's not him. Brian Harris, a different loser.
What, do you have a list of them?
Peace out, Brian. Well, no, there's this guy on Twitter. You know, I think his name is like Blake Harris. And he's just like a freelance Dodger troll. Anyway.
And there's this loser DM310, but keep him here.
Whatever. I don't care.
Just keep him here for now. All right. While we have a moment, do want to remind our viewers about our friends over at SeatGeek. They've got a terrific offer going on for you right now. That's $20 off your order of $50 or more with promo code PODSWRAP. You heard me right. That's promo code PADSWRAP. $20 off your order of $50 or more with promo code PODSWRAP. All you need to do is click the link in the description, download the app, have the code automatically added to your account so you can use it later. We do want to thank our friends over at SeatGeek. Obviously, the Padres come back home for July 4th. Let's take on the Texas Rangers. You can get in for $55, including fees. Then take $20 off with the promo code PADSWRAP. So make sure to check them out. Get in this upcoming weekend. The Texas Rangers kick off a 10-game homestand at Petco Park.
Yeah. Make sure when you visit SeatGeek, use our promo code PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP. It's MLB's official ticket marketplace. So your tickets are fully guaranteed and instantly fulfilled in your account after purchase. When you are looking at SeatGeek for tickets, just make sure you look for green. Green means good. Red means bad. And use our promo code PODSWRAP to get $20 off tickets at SeatGeek now.
All right, guys, please subscribe here on content for you. Smash the like button for us. And thank you for the super chats like this one from LLM213. You can click the $ below the chat box if you want to contribute and support. We appreciate you. He says, how many games are they winning in Philly? I think that the odds would tell you one. They're fully capable of winning the series. It's baseball. Of course they can win the series. They could sweep the series. But I think if you looked at it objectively, I'm sure there'll be a dog again tomorrow against Zach Wheeler, Matt Waldron. So you're probably a dog in the series. But, I mean, nobody can predict that. That's why it's sports. I mean, nobody knows who's going to win what series. And the Padres have been a good team. And the Phillies have been a good team and a very good team, I think, at home this year as well. So, and the Phillies offense was scuffling. I don't know what they've done the last couple of days, but certainly not an easy series, I wouldn't say.
No, Philadelphia is not an easy place to play. Not against this Phillies team. If I'm looking here at the Phillies, you know, they are 26-14 at home this year, John.
Yeah, very good.
They beat Atlanta today 2-1. And yeah, their offense has been kind of scuffling here the last week. They scored 1 run in Houston in a 3-game series last week, and then they scored 13 runs on Friday night against Atlanta. And then they proceeded to score only 1 run on Saturday and 2 runs today. Now it got them a win. But
interesting.
So their offense is kind of scuffling. Now, this was all on the road. If you look at what they did at home, you know, they beat the Mets 2 out of 3 at home the last time they were at home. Yeah, they're a good home team, guys. They're a good home team. That's going to be a little bit of
ball flies out of there. It's going to be high 80s all week. Now, San Diego's got to be able to match that. You know, I mean, we said that about Cincinnati, and the Reds scored a ton of runs on Friday. Padres responded with 3 home runs Saturday, hit 1 here today, but scored just 2 runs. And we said if they scored a couple of runs in a game against Cincinnati or Philadelphia, they're likely not winning it. And that played out here today. I mean, I do think the other conversation, and I agree with you about Suarez. Like I'm not circling Robert Suarez today. First of all, in front of it was Tyler Wade's error, which is extremely costly in a 1-run game where it's 1/3 of the outs if he makes the play, and he didn't make the play. But man, I'll tell you what, with Suarez is like once it starts unraveling, it's unraveled. It feels like that happens a lot. Like once a couple reach, all of a sudden you're just kind of praying for him to get out of that spot. Like look at this inning. as I relive it. You had bottom of the ninth inning. What was that error?
It's pretty early
Did
on,
they
right?
did they even give him an error?
They did
They
not,
didn't.
actually.
They
Wow.
didn't. Plays got to be made, whatever. So it's the infield single for Ellie off the mid of Tyler Wade. The ball has to be caught. Austin Hayes flies out. All right. Then you go walking Gavin Lux, who was awful in this game. No excuse for that. Spencer Steer, who was basically Babe Ruth in the series, then singles, and you're tied up. Good throw for Merrill, but just high. Then you got the Jose Trevino singling, and then he had opportunities to get out of this thing at 2-2. He had chances he had chances, but like 4 or 5 guys are reaching. Like, what's going on here? Like, he's just become very hittable to me. Or when it unravels, I don't know. I'm just making the general point. I'm not saying he's a bad closer or he's not capable or they got to get rid of him or he's making too much money. I just look at his like game log. There have been some blowups in there recently. There have been some blowups.
He can have some dominant stretches for sure, but you're right. When things kind of go south, you kind of sense it early on and feel like,
Yeah,
it could be a problem. And today was one of those days. He's not as consistent as you'd like. And I think in today's game, when you see a closer with a 3.89 ERA, now again, some inflated stats because of whatever, but like overall, he struggled last year at times, late in the season. He struggled here a little bit, but again, he's not the reason why. It's just they're putting so much pressure on this bullpen to be perfect all the time.
Yeah.
Like if they put up, 5 runs today, Robert Suarez comes in the ninth inning, gives up a run, doesn't even matter.
Except yes, but he gave up 2, and the ball Benson hit down the right field line was
yeah. If they're up 5-1 in the ninth inning and they have Robert Suarez in there and he gives up 2 runs again, still doesn't matter.
Other than the fact that Benson hit a bases clearing triple, if we play on, right?
Okay, you know what, John? I'm just looking at the overall stats. If you just gave up 2 runs in the ninth, it wouldn't have mattered. But yes,
I will say this too. He's got 3.89 ERA.
I know. That's what I said. Yeah.
And I know if you give up 5 runs in 1 inning, it's hard to get your ERA back. If you're a reliever, you're not a starter, you don't throw 5 innings in an outing. Listen, he's not high on my list of like, this has to be fixed right now. He's probably not my top 4. But he's at least on my list, is my point. He's not in my like, hey, this has to be fit. But if there's a game in Philadelphia that he doesn't secure a save in, then it's going to become a little more problematic. I get it. It's a long year. It's hard. It's hard to be really good all year in those spots. Those are tough outs to get, no doubt about it.
Well, there's no margin for error with the closer. Like even if even the best closers, like there's no margin for error. How many times you're coming in with like maybe 1 or 2 run lead. So they're not coming in with 5 run leads. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, 100%. No, 100%. So again, it's a long year. Hopefully he responds, obviously, in the second half of the year. Trying to think otherwise what's been going on here. I think Darvish is throwing another sim game. I don't know why. Maybe he's not throwing a rehab outing. Maybe. Maybe he's going from sim game to the major leagues, or maybe he's going from sim game to a rehab outing. But he just threw a sim and it was over 50 pitches. Now he's throwing another sim.
Throw more sim games.
What are we simulating? You just simulated. King, there was this article from Kevin over the weekend that was, I guess, encouraging, a lot of encouraging quotes from Michael King, that he feels a lot better than he did. Now he kind of knows the path back, but he still isn't. It's a lot of like, just show me the baby. Like, I don't need to hear about it. Just
give me the hot dog. I don't need to know how the sausage is made.
Yes, right? It's just like, and I get it. It's not going to be tomorrow for Michael King, and it's not going to be tomorrow for you, Darvish, but hopefully it's at some point. And again, we're hearing encouraging things. The good thing is Kolek's been good and Bergert's been good.
Kevin did say something interesting to us.
Okay.
I think it was on Friday. Because I asked him, is there any sense of, feeling impatient with the Yu Darvish thing, because
Right.
this is a Yu Darvish rehab. This is all up to you on how he feels. And he said, absolutely not right now. But then he did say, if this thing bleeds into like the middle of July, yeah, there will be some impatient, like people will be impatient. Because I do feel like there was a little bit of that the first go around when he kind of just shut everything down after his first rehab start. And everyone's like, bro, what are you doing? Right. And then it was a converse, then it was like, okay, well, we're going to trust you. And you're right. We don't want to try to get you out there sooner than you're ready. And we need you for the stretch run. Absolutely this season, but it's better be safe than sorry. And that was like, what, a month and a half ago?
Something like that. Yeah.
So I do think that if we get to the middle of July and if he's not ready to pitch yet, I think the tone on the Padres will be a little different than it is right now.
I agree. And I think it probably needs to be. I don't know what to think of it, man. I watched Stephen Kolek. He can look really good. I've watched Ryan Berger. He can look really good. It's like they've overcome it, but I know it's just not how baseball works. I know over 162 you need, like, there's no world where they don't need you, Darvish and Michael King. I'm just sorry that world does not exist. So
I can tell you who would love for you, Darvish, and Michael King to be back, especially you, Darvish, is Shelty, because he's got to answer the Darvish question every single day.
Every day. It's so annoying. Yeah. JD's third says, how will you and King return help offense?
It won't. You're right.
But there is no helping the offense. Taylor Ward won't either. I mean, it'll help a little. But Taylor Ward isn't going to hang out with Tatis and play video games and fix him.
And Tatis all of a sudden have a 1,200 OPS.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like, nothing's going to help their offense other than the players they have. Mike Schultz changed the lineup 3 times in the last week. Essentially, he had the original, then he had the second, now he's had the third. What does everyone want now? Oh, they still have it wrong, Jim. Let me tell you why. No, they don't. They don't have the lineup wrong. They have players that aren't performing. And this proves the point we made for weeks on end.
I can see it now. And I would love for this to happen, because that means that the Padres will be playing good baseball. They make a trade for some average dude. All right. And all of a sudden the team starts scoring like 5.5 runs a game. Not because of this average guy they brought in, but because Fernando Tatis Jr. decided that he was going to rejoin the 2025 season, and Jackson Merrill was going to start hitting for power, and Manny Machado was going to get hot again. And then everyone's like, see, told you. All they needed to do was just add some average players to help this team out. It's like, what? Right. It's great. Yes, I agree. They do need upgrades, but like, you get those upgrades and the players that we've talked about all night long still aren't producing, those minimal upgrades on the margins aren't going to help as much as you think they're going to help.
Completely. I mean, that's the thing. So the whole how does King help the offense? First of all, they are all tied, though. You know, like we said, Suarez with a 2-1 lead. Yeah, that doesn't help the offense either. That's why, like Jim's point, you'd prefer to have a 4-1 lead than a 2-1 lead. But no, I mean, there's nothing helping this offense, unfortunately. And they're not. And by the way, it's not. Name the player. You really think they get Jarren Duran and they become a top 8 offense? I mean, that's so like hopeful. You really think they get Luis Robert Jr. and they look different? I don't. You really think they get Taylor Ward and look different? I don't. So, I mean, maybe there's a move. Maybe you get lucky, but you could also get unlucky as well and make a move, and you could get a player that doesn't play like he was playing the first half of the year with the team that you traded, with them for as well, unfortunately.
And if Tatis, if his OPS was 890 instead of 790, and Jackson Merrill was closer to, 10, 11 home runs on the year, and, then I would say, and I would be pounding my fist on this table to go out and upgrade at the other positions that definitely need upgrading, that you don't have to break the bank to go get, because your star players are doing all the work here, and it's still maybe not enough. But like, that's not happening. It's just not happening right now.
I agree. Guys, Underdog Fantasy, the best and easiest place to play fantasy sports. We've got an incredible offer for you going on right now. All you need to do is use promo code PODSWRAP. That's PADSWRAP. You're getting a 50% deposit match up to $1,000 plus a free gimme pick when you click the link in the description down below and use promo code PADSWRAP. Underdog, it never fixes Tatis, even when we take higher, but we can take higher than a half home run.
Do it.
I'm going to do it. We can do the reverse jinx on Wheeler and say higher than 6.5 strikeouts. Shoot, Manny's struggling here recently. So let's say those things happen. Manny and Toddy home run, a warm night in Philadelphia. Boom. $10 pays $355. Flex it. You don't even have to get all three right. You can win $177. So it's simple and easy. They're giving you a gimme pick. What does that look like? Higher or lower than a half total plate appearance for Tatis. So they're giving you one of those picks if you use the promo code PADSWRAP and the 50% deposit match. So click that link in the description down below and start playing Underdog, the best and easiest place to play fantasy sports right now.
Yeah, just scan the QR code, download Underdog Fantasy, and when you download Underdog Fantasy, use our promo code PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP.
All right, real quick, Jim, because this wasn't our reconnaissance necessarily, but we saw it on...
What do we do?
We saw it on social media, and I'm going to pull this up. This is the official San Diego Convention Center website. All right, we both saw this because we got clued in on social media. There was a tweet from Casey at CaseyMCDD is at Fanatics Fest coming to San Diego in December. Just spotted on the San Diego Convention Center website. This is the official website. When you click event website right there, Jim, right here, it takes you to Fanatics.
What?
Yeah.
All right, so explain to me what we need to do to go to this in December. Like, what do we need?
We just need to line up right now.
I'm guessing this is a ticket badge event, kind of similar to Comic-Con.
Like Comic-Con? Well, they just did it in New York, and they just sold tickets. And I think it sold out for 1 or 2 days in New York. But, I mean, you could buy tickets. They had, like, I don't know what they were, like $60 tickets per day. And then you could buy on if you wanted, like, autograph signings from Derek Jeter or, like, The Rock. I mean, you saw who was in New York, dude. They literally had like Travis Scott and Derek Jeter and Tom Brady.
And yeah, they had like,
I mean, it was kind of big deal.
There, they had A-Rod buying cards for like $5,000.
Correct.
I think
it's some big card ship for people like what's Fanatics Fest. It's some big sports experience event with card shows and autograph signings and events and things for adults and chill. It's just like some big sports collectors show.
So me and John went to the card show over the weekend at the Handlery Hotel.
Which wasn't necessarily Fanatics Fest, but we had an awesome time.
No, it wasn't close to Fanatics Fest, but it felt like Fanatics Fest. Do you have what you got at the card show or with you around?
No. It's upstairs.
Is it hidden?
Well, no. What did I get? I got a couple of Kobe's. I got I got an AI like rookie card or something.
Yeah, I saw an Allen Iverson like 1999 PSA 9 for like $40, and I was like, dude, you got to go get this card. And you're like, all right, I'll be right back. And I had to watch Jones for like 5 minutes while you went to go like get this card.
Yeah, and I did. But you were there for like you were there for like 6 hours. I left after like 90 minutes because I was with my 6-year-old. You stuck around to wheel and deal.
I was there until like 1:30.
And we got in at 9:30.
Yeah. So, dude, I had a day because it's my first card show like I've ever like been to.
I can't believe that.
And so like I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
That's so like crazy.
I'm walking around. I'm like, I can't commit to anything because I'm soft. And I'm like looking at all these tables. I probably walked by these tables like 15 times, dude. I was just like back and forth because there's some things that you miss because there's like people always walking by and you don't want to stand at the table and just like take up space to like look at these cards. You just kind of want to gaze and then move on. So like I'm looking for what I want because there's some cards that I absolutely wanted. And I had a couple cards with me that I was thinking about trading or selling, but I was like, I don't know if I want to.
Right.
So finally I ended up just asking somebody like, how much would you give me for this card?
Right.
And he was looking up comps or whatever. And the guy said, he's like, I'll give you like $170 for it. It's like one of my Pokemon cards.
Right.
And the recent most sold, the recent sale price on like eBay was like $340.
So
and I
you're
was
only
like,
getting like half.
I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that.
Mhm.
So I then went to like legitimately like 10 other tables to like see who had the best offer and like ask like what they thought of the card and like how much they would give me. A couple like people. I went to this table and this kid came up to me like 10 years old, and he starts trying to like work a deal with me. He's like 150, 170, and I'm like, what? It was just so out of place, so awkward. Anyway, long story short, I ended up selling the card for 200, and I added another card to it. So I sold 2 cards for $280,
Which is awesome.
and then I flipped all that, and I sold other cards there as well. So I flipped all of that, and I ended up getting 3 PSA 9 cards at the show.
Look at that.
And then walking out with $120.
So I can't believe that's the first time you went to a card show.
So I ended up going to the show with a couple cards, walking out with 3 cards that I really wanted, and $120.
So okay, at Jim, make that a Padres deal. Like, would that be like getting rid of? Who would it be like getting rid of?
It's like taking Martin Maldonado and
upgrading your catcher.
It's like Adrian Morejon and Martin Maldonado and trading him for like I don't know, Marcelo Zuna and who's the catcher on the Braves?
Look at this. Oh, you're talking about who is the Braves catcher?
Sean Murphy.
Yeah, Sean Murphy.
Yeah, it's like getting Sean Murphy, Marcelo Zuna, and like some like middle reliever for Adrian Morejon and Martin Maldonado.
Look at this. Afford the Hobby is a daily listener, and he makes sports card and Pokemon content. Let's do a collaboration, man.
We should be best friends. Let's collab, bro.
Let's collab.
I'm like in the slab game now, man. I'm like, yo, I need more slabs.
The hardest thing with and Jim saw it play out firsthand is with a 6-year-old is the second you walk in, he's like, I want that.
It's a problem.
And I'm like, no, we need to walk the entire store or the entire show floor to see what you actually want, which paid off because he ended up getting a $20 Topps holiday tin. It was from the 2024 like Christmas time. And inside the tin, the best card was a Jackson Merrill, like parallel, like a holiday parallel. It was worth $5, which was cool. He doesn't know, but it was the coolest of the cards. The not cool part of it, though, it was the Freddie Freeman ornament. So he got a Freddie Freeman ornament, but he got a Jackson Merrill like parallel, which is pretty cool. We bought some other things for him too. It was fun. It was a good time. I would, if I was there alone, I would have been there longer.
Did you say whatnot?
What's your handle, dude?
Bro.
What's your handle, man?
What do we got here? What is going on?
This is great.
Yeah, I Jones is a lot to deal with, like in those types of environments for sure. Like any kid would be.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And he probably saved you from yourself because as much as I walked around that place, I saw some really dope cars that you would have 100% been like, okay, I need to buy that.
100%. But I didn't have any time. I was just like managing him.
There was a table like in the room to the left, and there was an entire section of just Kobe's, like Kobe slaps.
That's what I'm trying to hone in on. That's where I'm honing next time. Let's see. I just got off TikTok live slinging football cards. I'm a Navy kid, grew up in Japan, love Pokemon, head San Diego.
Let's go, dude.
With the Navy kid, super cool, man. Sweet.
So what do you think of my haul? I traded in I got this PSA 9, or is it PSA 9 Venusaur illustration. I got a PSA 9 Blastoise illustration, and I got a PSA 9 Charizard illustration.
Look at this. I just followed him.
Let's go.
Also, Afford the Hobby gave you a follow, man.
And I traded in a Evolutions Charizard, Holo and Reverse Holo, a Shadowless Nidoking, and a first edition Dark Dragonite.
Nobody knows what you're talking about, but he's wearing a San Diego hat in his profile picture.
Oh, okay.
Padres.
Hold on, where is it?
Afford the Hobby.
For the hobby? Hold on. Ford
Pokemon wrap up.
Oh, there we go. Boom.
See, this is what I say. This is what I say to Jim. He says a great start. He said, move it up to some 10s for long term. It's like trading Abrams, Gore, and Woods for Soto, but with an extension.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Afford the Hobby. So, trust me, I would love 10s, but I also don't want to break the bank here. And I'm more into just like, I just want to like collect them. And to me, a 9 is like,
they look the same.
Yeah. Again, 10 would be cool, but
this is hilarious.
No, I didn't.
All right. Good stuff. Let's do it again tomorrow. Join us tomorrow on John and Jim. We'll get you ready for Padres and Phillies afternoon start, but we will get you ready. Kevin Acey will join us before the game. So he says turn those 3 into 1 PSA 10, dude.
Yeah, but there's the thing. I get it. I know I probably could. I could trade all these 3 in for like a 1 PSA 10 Blastoise or whatever. But like, I want all 3 of them. I think they're cool.
Yeah, it's fair. To each their own. All right, find us tomorrow, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. We're on YouTube, and then tomorrow night, of course, on the wrap-up show as well. Appreciate you guys. If you're here, subscribe. You know the deal. Year-round content. Smash the like button. Follow us on X at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. If you're here on replay, thank you for the super thanks. Support our partners, Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance and Humboldt Casino and Mova Globes and SeatGeek and Underdog Fantasy. We'll be back tomorrow afternoon on the radio, tomorrow night on the wrap-up show. And for Jim, I'm John. Padres fall in Cincinnati. We'll see you tomorrow as they take on the Phillies. This has been the wrap-up show.